On a Norse longship sailing the open seas, the crew discovers a stowaway hiding among the cargo, revealing Gudrid disguised in a burlap sack before she frantically scrambles away from the pursuing sailors. The deckhands think they have cornered her beneath the front deck, but she dupes them with a decoy sack and swiftly scales the rigging, prompting a worried Leif to demand she come down for safety. Clinging to the ropes, Gudrid accuses the captain of being a liar who promised to take her overseas, while Leif frantically clarifies that his offer was strictly for when she became an adult. As the bearded crewmate scolds Leif for filling children's heads with travel stories, Gudrid screams that waiting until adulthood just means getting married and locked inside a house like her mother said. Leif argues that homemaking is a respectable duty, but Gudrid furiously rejects the arbitrary rule that men sail while women stay behind, causing the crew to dismiss her as a stubborn child while she growls in frustration. Leif decides to turn the ship around to return her to Greenland, leading to a ridiculous standoff where Gudrid threatens to bite through the thick rope holding her up and actually begins gnawing on the fibers. The story resumes at a coastal settlement wharf in Iceland, where Gudrid, crouching inside a fake barrel disguise, successfully sneaks past a pair of confused locals by lunging forward only when their backs are turned. Up at the main farmhouse, Sigurd flies into a panic upon discovering his bride is missing, threatening to turn his incompetent search party into fish fodder if they failed to retrieve her before nightfall. Down at the frozen pier, Leif leads his companions off their boat, warning them about the treacherous footing, while the messy-haired blonde man marvels at the massive fleet of ships belonging to the wedding guests. The group debates the etiquette of borrowing money during a ceremony, ultimately deciding to prepare a gift since the timing implies Halfdan is in high spirits. Leif explains that the landlord is a complex figure who buys farms cheap but keeps his tenants fed, though the conversation dies when Thorfinn notices a barrel suspiciously following them. Thorfinn points out the absurdity of the walking container, causing Gudrid to panic inside before bursting upright and screaming to be overlooked. She aggressively rolls toward the group, shouting accusations at Leif until the wooden staves shatter against the dock, leaving the sailor bewildered by the talking cargo. Now revealed, Gudrid frantically demands they hide her on the ship from the bad guys currently pursuing her. Einar physically blocks her path to the gangplank, while Leif explains that this teenager is actually his brother's widow, shocking the traveling squad. A heated argument explodes over Leif's broken promise to take her sailing, which he counters by screaming that tradition dictates women stay home to protect the house. As the crew watches the domestic standoff in awkward silence, Gudrid doubles down on the common sense that women cannot become sailors. In response, Gudrid draws a knife and cleanly slices off her long braid, shocking Gudrid into absolute silence. She holds the severed hair aloft as physical proof of her unwavering conviction to leave, declaring, "The problem solved because no woman has such short hair." She tries to board, leaving the men stunned by her defiance. Hearing her pursuers yelling nearby, she ignores Leif's desperate warnings about the icy surface and sprints for the ship. She immediately slips on the frozen planks and violently knocks herself unconscious, forcing the worried group to huddle around her motionless body. Sigurd and his men arrive on the ridge just in time to see the strangers standing over his fallen bride and her cut hair, causing the groom to explode with fury at the perceived assault. The video ends here, but the story isn't over yet. Like the video if you're ready for the next part.